Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Chris's Collection. I actually got really worried because this game wasn't reading at first, and I'm like, no, please, read it. But welcome, guys, oh god, what is this game called? This is called Castlevania Curse of Darkness. So, the story behind this game, Journey Back. Alright, I'll put in my name. Chris. This is very classic Castlevania. This is correct. Sure. Sure. Yeah, let's save some data. So let's journey back, guys, to high school. I was really into video games for a very long time, and there came a point where I kind of got out of video games for a while. I started hanging out with some people, and we were in a band, and video games weren't really a priority. So I kind of stopped getting into games and, playing any. It just wasn't my thing. I wasn't into it, and I never really played as much as I thought I should. So, cut to, oh boy, like circa 2006, 2007, probably 2007, around there. I was slowly getting back into video games, like, big time. I had a girlfriend at the time. We'd been dating for, like, 2 years. She became my wife. Her name's Rebecca. She's awesome. And we'd been dating for, like, 2 years at that point. And I was like, you know what? Like, the band was done. I had more free time. Like, we were in college. I had just way more time on my hands. I was 20 years old at the time. And I was like, you know what, man? I thought I'm gonna like get back into video games and shit like that. So I'd remembered my friend Alex, when we were younger, used to tell me all about the Castlevania dungeon, which was this fucking awesome website that still exists. That was basically like a Wikipedia before Wikipedia existed. It was like this big epic fan site of Castlevania, and I had heard that Castlevania's timeline had been altered. That Igarashi had, I think, like changed it because he was in charge of like Castlevania or something like that at the time. So I was like, man, what's the new timeline? So I started reading it, and I saw like Castlevania Legends wasn't canon anymore, like Sophia Belmont wasn't canon, all this shit, and I started seeing what games were canon. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna systematically get and play through every Castlevania game in like the order. So I think it took me like a full year, but I went chronologically through and started getting every single Castlevania game in the order that they appeared, knowing that there were some on PS2, there were some here, there were some there. And so when I got to this game, Curse of Darkness, I'm like, okay, how can I get this? Like the cheapest I can get it, because I know I was trying to like, get stuff. So I wasn't a big video game collector at the time, so I really didn't know where to get stuff or how any of this shit worked. So I just went to GameStop.com because I'm like, oh man, GameStop, they have used games. So I went there and I ordered online this and another Castlevania game, and they both came in, and this Castlevania game was in a GameStop generic like DVD package. So if you flip it behind, it says trade 10% off used games when you trade in, or something, or whatever, 10% extra trading credit, and all this shit if you become like a member of the thing or whatever. And so yeah, I have that version of Castlevania, and that's what this game is. Let me skip the dialogue here. So yeah, this is Curse of Darkness. Of course, the music kicks complete ass. Music in Castlevania is just fucking awesome all the time. How do I... There we go. But yeah, so I spent a really good time playing this and going through it, and I don't really remember too much. It was not a blur, but it was just during a time when, like, I was playing through all these Castlevanias. So I did not play this when it first came out. It was not something that I knew anything about or anything like that. Years later, everyone kind of felt that the 3D Castlevania games didn't really translate very well, what the 2D games were like. And I guess, I mean, yeah, it wasn't really like the best, I guess, that they could have done, but I don't think it was terrible. I think it definitely could have been worse, but I see what they mean. What is this? Oh, is this to save? That is so cool. He looks so badass. Yeah, so this is where you save. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah. I really don't remember this game too well, so awesome. And now where's Castlevania? No, we're good, my friends. I mean, it's kind of dead. What did they just announce? I'm recording this in March, and they just announced. Oh God, what was it that they're doing? A Castlevania anniversary. It's like the 50th anniversary of Konami being a franchise or whatever, and so they're releasing like they're releasing like 3 collections. Like the first one is. What is it? It's like a arcade, so it's all their arcade games together in a collection, or like most of the popular ones. And then they have a Contra one, which has like I think 8 Contra games, and they only announced the first 4. And then they have one for Castlevania. And you know, as much as Konami pisses me off, I am so fucking buying the Castlevania one, strictly because one of the 4 games they announced was Super Castlevania 4, and that game, oh god, it's like my favorite Castlevania game. So if that's being re-released, yeah, I'm buying it, and hopefully they'll have some cool stuff too. But all right, guys, there's really not much else to do here. You know how Castlevania games are. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's gonna be it for. Well, actually, no, because we're in May already. This is releasing May 2nd. So next week we're gonna keep going with PS2. PS2, we're gonna be around here for a while on PS2 games because oh man, we got a lot of games to cover. My PS2 collection is quite big. So and we're only in the C's, man. So it's gonna get good. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week with some more. Chris's collection PS2. We got another Castlevania game to cover and a bunch of other stuff, so be on the lookout for that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Take care.